You're listening to a podcast from the Outdoors Channel.
Hello, my name's Cameron McNeish, and I'm the editor of TGO magazine. I'd like to introduce you to a man who has exploded onto the UK outdoor scene in the past few months through a tremendously successful series of podcasts. The download statistics for Bob Cartwright's backpackinglight.co.uk podcasts have been nothing short of phenomenal, and now as a unique development in the world of outdoor podcasting, I believe Bob can be of great service to the outdoor industry. He's just launched his Outdoors channel, a central hub of information that will allow the industry to talk directly to the end user. Bob, tell me, how's this all going to work?
Well, the principle is to try and keep something like this as simple as possible. It's a bit of a two-way thing. The first part of it is I'm giving the industry, if you like, the opportunity to explain more detail behind their products or their services than perhaps they can normally achieve with advertising. So they can produce or sponsor a series of programs that perhaps give more detail about their particular products. That's one part of it. Then the other side of it is the end user is going to have access to this library of information. And they will be able to dip into this information any time over a 12-month period, and obviously pass the information on to their friends who are also maybe interested in the same sort of products. So I'm giving the industry, if you like, a chance for a much greater exposure. But we're not talking exposure on a local level. We're talking exposure on an international, on a worldwide level, because podcasting has become the new media for people to have access to and use for reference and for entertainment.
Okay, who is the end user? Who's your audience?
Well, it's as you said in your introduction there, the feedback since October has been phenomenal. 100,000 downloads is just incredible, and it's interesting that the information that I've got, it's predominantly from the US, admittedly, but the profile of your average podcast user and listener is pretty well identical to the profile that was provided by Friedrichshafen of last year of the outdoor enthusiast. They are between 30 and 50 generally. The majority between 30 and 40. They are environmentally aware. They're savvy. Their purchasing decisions are made on. They research something and they like to buy good quality products that are going to reflect their interest in their enthusiasm. So it's interesting how they both link together. And certainly the feedback I've had from the UK. Well, I've had feedback from the UK, the US, Australia, Japan, and Asia, all of which wanting to know more about specific products that we may have discussed in podcasts. So I know that the audience is there, and certainly the information, the audience information from the US alone is staggering. If I can I've just mentioned something here. There are 38 million current subscribers in the US alone of iTunes, and iTunes is a well-known pod catching software. It basically, once you've subscribed, anything that I release or anybody else releases just appears on your desktop, and you have the choice to download it. You can listen to the first couple of minutes, say, yes, I want that, I'll download it. Now, 38 million, and the prediction is that in 4 years' time, that will have expanded to 50 million users. And that's purely of iTunes, and that is one of a dozen or so packages that catch podcasts.
Okay, what can a potential advertiser or sponsor get for his money? Is this something that can be tailor-made specifically for that sponsor?
Yeah, the packages that I'm trying to offer to people is twofold. We will present a package and prepare the information for people using whatever form or style presentation that a sponsor wants. But the overall view is to keep it simple, to keep it entertaining, and to have information in there which the end user will find either stimulating and also thought-provoking as regards the reason they should look at that product. The second thing is, again, we're not playing on a local stage, we're playing on a worldwide international stage. So unlike local advertising, such as newspapers or magazines, which are here and gone within a month or a couple of months, and on the UK scene, these podcasts will be sitting there for a 12-month period. We're offering the service on a 12-month basis. So over a long period of time, as the information spreads and people become aware of the Outdoors channel, they will have access to the information. Now, there is a flip side to this, and this is where the industry can help themselves. I'm offering a service and I'm providing a range of skills here and presenting a sponsor's information in a certain way. That's one part of it. But then I will be handing back to the sponsor a link, a button if you like, as simple as that, a button. And that button they can pass to their customers, to their retailers, they can pass it to their distributors anywhere in the world, they can pass that button to the end user. And because the Outdoors channel is a solely media-based site, it is not biased in any particular way to a retailer, it is purely a host of media, then anybody in the world can link back to this site to say, if you want to know more about product X, download the latest video, the latest program, the latest whatever from the Outdoors channel. And there's no worry that this is particularly biased between another retailer, whether it's a UK retailer or a US retailer.
So how can an advertiser or sponsor measure the impact of his podcast?
Well, with the world of digital medium, as you know, everything is traceable. So every time an item is downloaded, it will be incrementally going on the clock, and over a period of time, we'll have the ability to actually analyse where the listeners are downloading, which continent they're downloading from, and these figures will be available as part of the package to each sponsor. So each month, we'll be giving them details of how many downloads they've had and where we can find the information, which continent has actually been downloaded it most. Because you might find that suddenly you're very, very big in the US, very much like the music industry. You might be big in the US and yet the UK market isn't that strong for you, and you'll have factual information that of from facts and figures that have actually the number of downloads and where it's actually gone to, which I think from a sponsor, from an advertiser's point of view, is really, really important information.
I suppose in a sense this is just a new form of advertising.
It is, but I've been involved in the advertising world years ago, and there is a big difference. Podcasts are predominantly, and they need to be thought of as entertaining information for the end user. If you try to make it a hard sell advert or like a radio advert from start to finish, it soon turns people off, and they have the choice. They have the choice to skip through that part of the information. They have the choice to delete it, to not listen to it. So I would advise people not to think of as advertising, perhaps more sort of infomercials, a bit of a crossover really from that point of view, more information based. But don't forget, again, with the expanse of iTunes and similar pod catching software, the other side of it is the amount of people with portable media players, because podcasts can be played naturally on the PCs that they're downloaded on. If they've got a pair of speakers, you can hear it. That's one thing. But everybody has got an MP3 player these days, and in fact people have probably got them and don't realise it, because you now have MP3 players on phones, you have MP3 players on PDAs, you have MP3 players on portable PlayStation machines, you've got MP3 players obviously on the laptops and also on the PCs, all of which don't need any special software. They play these things automatically. So the commuter, and I tend to find that most people either listen to it on the PC they've downloaded it from, or they listen to it as they commute and as they drive, which I think is the most interesting part, because you have got a captive audience there to hear all about your products.
I was going to say that it won't be long until you can download podcasts on your mobile phone, but you say that's happening already.
Yes, it's happening already, and the new generation of phones now actually you will have access to go straight to a directory very similar to iTunes, where you can just go skip through a list of podcast providers, select the ones you want, and literally when you turn your phone on in the morning, it's already been downloaded. You can listen to it on the train.
So how much is all this going to cost?
Well, I'm trying to keep this as cost-effective as possible, bearing in mind this is a 12-month arrangement of data. It's the information that is sitting on the site for 12 months. It can be extended if people want to, of course. So it's going to be akin to a traditional magazine advertising and promotion. That's the best way of describing it, because there's two costs involved. There's the actual cost of hosting it and providing it, and obviously supporting the information once it's there, and then the second cost of creating it in the first place. And that cost is fairly flexible, as we know. But again, back to the beauty of podcasting, you can do it over the phone, you can interview somebody face to face, their passion, their enthusiasm, their experience can come over very, very well indeed in audio, and that's possibly the cheapest way to do it, and it's incredibly cost effective. So I would say it's akin to magazine advertising. That would give people a good reference point to just how cost effective it would be.
So how flexible can an advertiser be if he comes to you, he wants to produce a podcast? Can he use, say, his own sponsored athlete or a personality that, someone who's well known? What are the limitations on that? Are there any?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's a bit of a sort of an open playing field at the moment. I've been working on getting the website and the principle up and running for the last 3 or 4 months since Christmas. I wanted to make it free for the end user. That's the most important part, because the internet is seen as a source of free information. I think it's important that the end user gets his information free, so it needs to be supported somewhere. And obviously, the sponsors, if they've got, as you say, people they sponsor in terms of their business, or famous personalities or whatever that they're associated with, and they want to incorporate that within the podcast, that isn't a problem. We can do all that for them. We can bring everybody together as over the phone or in person. It's down to a budget at the end of the day, and if these people have got something exciting to tell, to support the products or support the activities, they will come over well. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be very, very exciting, because there are a lot of people out there that have got a lot of skills. They've got a lot of experience using particular products, particularly, say, for example, the adventure racing scene, and the end user never gets to hear what these people really think of a particular product in use, treating it pretty hard, and that would be really interesting to listen to.
Is this exclusively audio, Bob, or will we perhaps see video casts in the future?
I'm setting it up so it is audio and video, so there's only a cost element in between them. The video is much more expensive to produce, because it is much more time consuming and involves more expensive equipment and more investment. But by much more expensive, I'd say probably sort of 4 or 5 times the expense of audio. But I will shortly be putting up several video clips that I've shot myself with various products that, interestingly, the sales guys were saying, when I explained the concept to them, just how useful it would be in the staff training scene, because they're finding that when they go to outlets, the staff has changed and they have to start again. Now, if they've got a reference point where they can put half a dozen video clips explaining the features and benefits of their particular products, be it rucksacks or tents or something that is a face-to-face type presentation as opposed to an audio presentation, that would save them an awful lot of foot leather and an awful lot of mileage. And also, at the same time, the end user is receiving the same information. So the end user can actually walk into the shop and go, I know exactly what I want. I've seen the video. I know what the features are. That's the product for me, as opposed to be perhaps getting confused by people who might be new to the job and a bit confused with some of the products they're selling.
Okay, as well as a bunch of promotional podcasts, what else might we hear or indeed see on the Outdoors channel?
Well, I'm doing the promotional side, you quite rightly say, and we're also trying to balance that out with pure entertainment as well. So we're doing a range of entertainment programs. When I say entertainment, it's sort of news programs or chatting to people who have done various events, sort of magazine-based, I suppose, really, because, again, the feedback that we're getting is that a lot of people, interestingly enough, have downloaded the Backpacking Light podcasts, certainly the range of podcasts which involve people who have actually gone and done long treks, and they take them with them when they go camping. So they lie there in their tents when they've been backpacking, and then they tune into whoever they want to listen to. Sometimes it's yourself or Chris Townsend or people that have done the TGO challenge, and they absorb the information while they're actually out doing something. So I'm very much looking forward to having a level playing field, so that the actual content of the website is split evenly 50-50 between the commercial interest but also the entertainment interest as well.
Okay, tell me, how can people get in touch with you? What are your contact details?
Well, the easiest way, and certainly all the details are easily found on theoutdoorschannel.co.uk. That's the best place to go, and the email addresses are on there, and also the telephone number as well. So that's theoutdoorschannel.co.uk. And most questions and answers I've tried to incorporate in the introduction section, but certainly if people want to talk and just talk through the idea to see if it will work for them, because in all fairness, it may be from the commercial point of view, it wouldn't necessarily work. But I've already had, and this is prior to me launching now, I've already had 4 companies approach me, very, very enthusiastic about the whole concept and the whole idea. And of course, we're starting with the best company of all. We're going to do the first magazine program with yourself, and I'm really looking forward to putting together the TGO show.
Yeah, and that should be up running shortly. That's great. Okay, Bob, thank you very much for that. It certainly is, it's an interesting and very fresh concept of outdoor advertising, but I think it's probably more than just outdoor advertising. You're offering an awful lot more there, and I really wish you the best of luck with it. I hope that many sponsors and advertisers pick this up and run with it, because I think it adds a fresh dynamic to the outdoor industry here in the UK and who knows worldwide. So the very best of luck, and thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you very much indeed for your interest, Cameron. I'm looking forward to doing your show, and certainly this is a facility that's there to be used by everybody, and I think, as you say, if they can pick the ball up and run with it and realise it isn't just a one-way stream, I'll give them back information which they can distribute and it benefits everybody. I think it will be a great success. I'm well, fingers crossed it'll be a great success.
Good, well done.
To find out more, visit theoutdoorschannel.co.uk.
Some drink water, some drink wine. Some arrive late, others on time. Takes a lot of strength to make the net. Take a lot of risk to win a bet. Take a lot of thread to make the rope. Different strokes for different folks. Some like to walk, some like to ride. Some like to go out, others stay inside. Take a lot of strength to make the net. Take a lot of risk to win a bet. Take a lot of thread to make the rope. A different stroke for different folks. Takes a lot of notes to make a song. Take a lot of loving to right or wrong. Take good boots to walk 10 miles. It takes a good man to make a woman cry. Some let it grow, some like to shave. Some like to spend it all, others like to save. It takes a lot of string to make a net. Takes a lot of risk to win a bet. Take a lot of thread to make a rope. Different strokes for different folks.